Hello, ladies and gentlemen, this is Mars coming at you over the interwaves with another Starcraft 2 cast. This one between two members of the Ever After clan. This is on the south side of Dusk Towers. It is, oh god, I'm shit at colors. Omicron. This is definitely yellow, yes. Yellow is over on this side. In the meantime, on the north side, we have Jimtoni. Now, this is a game between two people who are familiar with each other. They are not red and blue, as that does indicate not being a ladder game. And as well, them being from the Ever clan, we can, assume that they do indeed know each other. So we've got Omicron going for a hatch first, with then a spawning pool and gas later on. And on this side for Jimtoni we have a barracks with gas coming up as well. So fairly standard play for both players there. This is Dusk Towers, which is a game that lends itself to long macro games. I'm not going to tell you how long this game lasts. I recently lost a game on this in as little as, I think it was 4 minutes? 5 minutes? How fast can you go to DTs? I mean, that's obviously not going to be relevant here because there are no DTs going to be in play here. But you can cheese on this map if you want to. It's just that neither of these players does on first glance. That was a ping in a non-team game. Interesting. It does at first glance appear to be fairly straightforward. There are still several highly aggressive plays both can still make. Now, what do we know? Omicron knows bugger all. And Jimtoni has very much the same in his information. For Zerglings and a Queen against the Reaper, that is generally shows up at this time, and indeed it does. Sees that there is that little bit of creep there, knows that the natural base is down, and other than that decides to back out again. Omicron pulling out of that gas, knows he doesn't need anything more at the moment, just needs minerals. And there's a lot of pinging going on here. I wonder if there's an if there was officially or originally an observer in this game helping these guys to practice. We've got Jimtoni in the meantime setting up for a Widowmine drop, getting the starport, putting out 2 mines by the time that this first medevac is done, and slowly saturating his second base. And having taken well, that's nice. Should have just seen that. Having taken Overlord speed, Omicron can just go into the space and scout everything without completely losing his Overlord. There should at this point really not be that many Marines out quite yet. And he does scout. I think he did see that. Yes, he did. And he also saw that the mine was buried there, or at least that was in range at a master level game. I would assume that this does actually mean that he did see it. And here we go with 1 mine and 6 Marines. I suppose under Terran players better than myself, there are discussions on what the ultimate in a first drop I don't know, composition should be. Whoa, 4? He takes, Omicron takes, okay, cool. A 3rd and a 4th. Should see this coming though, but with the complete army of, well, this does actually scare it off. That is very good. I'm sorry, I was saying something about Terrans discussing what the optimum composition is of your first drop, but then I got distracted by the 4 bases. Anyway, I'm assuming that's what high-level Terrans talk about. I really wouldn't know. I am neither a Terran nor high-level. That could have been a nice little drop there, and still could be. Ooh, that is not what Omicron hoped would trigger it. But his 3rd and his 4th should go up, and now Jimtoni didn't see the 3rd, but he can assume that this is in fact up. Taking a 3rd of his own on location, you can be pretty sure that you're, you know, if you show up with your medevac, and there were as much Zerglings there as we did see, that nothing is moving over here, but he never does know for sure, so it is a bit of a ballsy thing. And here is the Liberator coming in to do, well, to get hit a couple of times for free before he takes out the Queen. No, Queen lives, and at a distance that he can continue shooting at the Liberator, thereby, oh, that is so close. How much is that? 9. That is definitely just 1 attack, I believe. 9. There we go. 9 damage. 1 Spore Crawler, might want to consider getting 1 here and 1 here, but hasn't decided to yet. I wonder if that's just because the ping button is under, what is that, Alt G? I don't know. I wonder if it's a misclick or if he's actually being coached. I don't know. In the meantime, while all of this is going on, well, we've got about equal workers with mules. That means that the Terran should be slightly ahead in income, and we have a lot more army supply for the Terran moving in, and here it is. So we've got 29 for the Zerg, with another 18 Zerglings being made and 5 Banelings being morphed in. In the meantime, that means the Terran has room to clear up this creep, because the 29 army supply that is there is not enough to take care of this. And look at that pre-spread. He knows that there's Baneling on the map. You're like, you know what, I don't want to deal with that. So he doesn't clump up. He said he doesn't clump up. Don't start clumping up now. Very good. Alright, he decides, I've cleared up some creep. That's probably good enough. And he backs off a little bit, waiting for his 1-1 and maybe his combat shields. And I'm pretty sure that the stim is complete. Yes, it is. Moves in, holds the army in place with the Zerglings, and then the Banelings do its work. Look at that. That is a lovely engagement for Omicron. Starting with the... manually detonating those on the Widow Mines even after the Middle Mine was done. But that was a very nice engagement for Omicron, droning up to his heart's content just before the army arrives, then building up enough of an army to deal with that. But there's the 4th being taken by Jimtoni as well. And it looks to be about time, because he's oversaturated in a number of his bases. And Omicron has the upgrade lead. And we've got the old-fashioned Ling Bling Muta for Omicron, and we have Marine Widowmine for Jimtoni. So we have a bit of a traditional army build-up for both players. And let's see what Omicron can do with these Mutalisk, as he should be able to get into this base just before any of the turrets does finish. No, one does finish, but takes both of them out with, I believe, 2 SCVs right there. And that 9 health Liberator right there dies as well. I don't want to move back in there. Nope. Now we've got 2-2 almost being done for the Zerg. And 3 Widow Mines. Yes. As he dodges those 2 Three buried ones there. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, you wanna watch out with that. And there goes his vision of those mines. So, in the meantime, I have completely missed the drop. That is one of the problems you have with orange versus yellow. They tend to look fairly similar on the minimap, and Jimtoni is here, driving Omicron from his 4th base. It is cleaned up quite nicely. Let's see, how much have we lost? Well, nothing much in workers on both sides, which is impressive considering the aggression being thrown either way. We had a drop initially, which didn't land, to be honest. And we had Mutalisk go in the other side, and it's spotted here now, forcing Jimtoni to go back. Is there a turret placed here? Nope, there isn't. That means these SCVs are fair game, and those Marines don't stand up to that many Mutalisks either. But Jimtoni does manage to take position right here. Pre-splitting 4 of those Banelings that are bound to arrive. I always find this an interesting dance to take. We can put a couple of units here at the front, never mind that, going in with all of his Banelings, and he does clean up pretty much every Marine that is here, and if there is a Marine left, there is not enough to kill all these Mutalisks. And Omicron cleans up this assault very nicely, and Jimtoni does unfortunately hang around with his medevacs a little bit too late. That means that the entire army is in fact cleaned up. Medevacs and Marines both. 2-2 and 2-2 on both sides. You don't want to fly in there. Oh dear, this could be very, very bad for the Omicron Mutaflock as Jimtoni moves into this 4th base with the original 4th base having been taken out. This is what Omicron was hoping to get his income from, but it does not appear that that is going to be the case. Look at this, still rebuilding. Jimtoni doesn't have a 4th base either yet, as he tries to get away with his army right there, or if not his army, his little strike force. But there's not going to be enough here. Banelings do take out that army once again, and there's enough left on the ground. Oh, widow mines are just so scary. If you deal with them properly, then they are not that much of a problem. But you don't pay attention once, you don't pay attention twice, and your entire Mutaflock is gone. Look at that, all of it in the yellow, all of it in the red. 4th base back up for Omicron, and Jimtoni moved his main there. Didn't move his SCVs though. He does now. But there you go. 3-3 has been started, and 3-3 is free to start with 2 Swarmos being made. And another bunch of Swarmos having been made. That is an unusual choice. They are changing Swarmos once again in the upcoming patch, which hits May 2nd off the top of my head. Their supply is going to go up, but they're just something else. I don't know. Read it at the patch note at eu.battle.net, or if you're not a European, then well, use your local equivalent. Jimtoni moves back into position to try and take this 5th, while he does do it himself here. So Omicron really does need this, and look at those Widow Mines. Are they going to take out all these Banelings? No, they do not take out all the Zerglings, as reinforcements of that do come in. But all the Banelings were left intact, meaning that Omicron takes out this army of Jimtoni quite nicely. And once again, the medevacs are going to go down. Maybe this last one, even 3 health points. Yes, there we go. Is this a new base, or did he relocate as well? No, this one is still there, and this one is still there. So he did actually build a new one. He purposely built an orbital command to put here instead of moving a command center there and then making a planetary fortress. The hive has been up now for some time, but Omicron did finally start his adrenal glands and started the Ultralisk update. And with this, I thought he was about to be caught there, but that was in fact his own forces. With these swarm hosts invaded this base over here and planted the Nexus Worm, releasing a flood of cracklings, as they are sometimes, affectionately I could call them, but that would probably be a misnomer, into his opponent's base. And what does Jimtoni do as a response to that? Well, he goes for the base trade and manages to dodge most of the Baneling shots right there. So Jimtoni is over here with most of the armies still intact, and in his opponent's base all of his production is being taken out. Taking down that Nidus Worm to prevent the way back. Nope, all of those things in there now need to go out on the other side. And was that the 3 attack upgrade? Yes, it was. So the Zerglings do not have a 3rd attack upgrade, and Jimtoni, in preparation for this happening, moves some of the SCVs for the base trade. As Jimtoni clears out this base and Omicron clears out this base, we're looking to see where everybody is once the dust settles. So we have a base here for Omicron, and we have a base here and a base here. Here, once again, it is important to note that was not a planetary fortress, meaning that these Zerglings and these Ultralisks can just go in there and horribly, horribly murder everything. Jimtoni over here doesn't have any reason to need those barracks, as he is terribly supply capped with all of his supply depots having been taken out, but does move in and clear out this base and is now free to go to this base, while rebuilding over here with these SCVs he evacuated. And Omicron now doing the same thing. Both have enough money to rebuild a number of command centers or hatcheries or whatever. He builds the same 2 bases as his opponent is doing, although his opponent can fly one away if he so chooses. A large number of Mutalisks moving in and catching this command center forces a non-cancel, which is very nice. And well, we've got 3-3 Marines versus a bunch of 2-2 Zerglings with the adrenal glands upgrade and 1-0 Mutalisks. Although if he were to move in over here, he can just kill that, but he doesn't decide to do it. Instead, choosing to build another 3 command centers next to his bases. I did say that they can afford quite a few CCs, but with Jimtoni moves his army over here and clears out the crack, meaning that these 2 are most definitely going to be taken out. And does he still have a drone? He has a drone. Where's the drone? He retook his opponent's 3rd base, and now Jimtoni has 2 very defensible bases. So Omicron with an Ultralisk and a large number of Zerglings, and Jimtoni with just having to guard this. Or if he wants to move out into the middle of the map, he could get surrounded if he so chooses, which is, you know, just fine as well. I did forget about these swarm hosts, by the way, and he made quite nice use of it. Let's see what the range of this is. Omicron does see his 4th base being taken as well. So we've got a base up here and a base up here, and nothing is mining, and no supply depots are being made, and no barracks are being built. Nope. Omicron does force the cancel of another one of these bases, and now he finds this one. Things are looking quite nicely for Omicron right now. He's certainly going to take this out, and then he's certainly going to take this out. Yeah, and what do we have left? Oh, he does build a refinery here. But that is in range of this. No, it isn't. So Omicron does not know about this. In the meantime, this is the one building for Omicron, who should build a number of drones and move it. Oh, there go your swarmosts. Well, how many Marines did he take out? He took out a number of Marines, but there's still 34 left, which means Omicron doesn't want to move in there with his Mutalisks. Yep. But with both his Zerglings, his Ultralisks, and the Mutalisk, maybe he does want to go in there. No, he decides not to, or he sort of commits, loses his army on the ground, and goes out there again. And he should know now that there's another command center here. He's got a drone right here trying to make sure that his opponent doesn't take that base. Oh, look at this, just playing hide and seek. Where do I have another base? As Omicron takes out yet another prospective location for a command center. And Jimtoni takes out this hatchery, meaning that there's 3 left, but Jimtoni is about to moving over here. Oh, take out this Midas Worm in the meantime. How many SCVs do we have? We have 2 SCVs, one SCV, and we have a zero SCV. Good. So whatever we have now for Jimtoni is all there is. In the meantime, maybe you should use these larvae. There's one more CC done. And now Jimtoni can choose to go around the map for another game of whack-a-mole as he slowly, very, very slowly, moves around with his last building, which he does have to protect. This is the last building, right? Yep, that is all he has. He has a medevac moving sort of around. 3 drones here, which don't want to go here. Does he know? No, he doesn't know. But Omicron can start mining again. Although Jimtoni has just seen it. Oh, you don't want to build that there. You don't want to build that there. That's not a good place to build a hatchery. I think Omicron probably has a fairly decent idea of where his opponent is with that changeling in place. There goes another hatchery. You want to cancel that? Yes, you do. 2 free Marines. Thank you very much. Take out that medevac. Yes, as well. 1, 2. Very nice. Now, Omicron can still build yet another hatchery if he wants to choose so and do it there before this very, very slow massive death does once again encroach upon here. He also has some larvae here you can still use for it. Wait, he just lost a bunch of minerals, meaning he is already preparing to... here we go. There's another one here. This is very, very slow death rattle for both players, to be honest. 28 army supply in purely Mutalisk for Omicron. And another bit of damage on this hatchery over here. 50 supplies in 3-3 Marines and Marauders. That is not a place you want to be, and he can take a few shots at a couple of Marauders, but he doesn't kill it. Are there still any Widow Mines here? There are no Widow Mines here. Okay. I think this is probably a better thing to do, as nothing much is being built. And Jimtoni has seen this. How did he see this? Oh, he's got the medevac that just moves around, and so we can now decide to slowly move in over there. And he can't rebuild it. He can't rebuild yet another command center. If he takes out this this hatchery, he will in fact lose the game. But yeah, there isn't much that he can do about it. I mean, the army of Jimtoni is bigger than his. He can't take that out in a one-on-one fight. And if he just slowly moves with the command center, oh, that's a good one. Takes out a free, or takes out a marine. Assuming that wasn't picked up in there. And there goes the last hatchery. It's an unusual ending, but well played. GG.